Welcome back. Welcome to From the Shed End. Welcome back. 2-1 Chelsea versus Copenhagen, UEFA Conference League first leg. Um, what can I say? What do I say about that performance? It was a game of two halves, as they like to say in football. But it really was. It really was a game of two halves. There was the really boring side of our game, which we know we have inside of us. And there was a game which we was able to see out what I thought was a really good performance in the second half. But it's more of the same from us. You know, it was more of the same. It was more struggles in that first half, unable to break down low blocks, unable to penetrate through the defense of Copenhagen. I did say before this game kicked off in the match preview, that this was going to be a very difficult game for us to be able to have to compete with and challenge with, because Copenhagen are a good team. And I don't think we could have treated them like we did Astana or any of the other teams that we played in the earlier stages of the Conference League. I thought we had to give them a bit of respect. And to be honest, let's be honest, they actually gave us a game in that first half. They were on top of us. The pressure was relentless in the first 20 to 25 minutes of that game. They made it difficult. They really did. No real surprises, I suppose, in the lineup. It was completely different to what me, Darmesh, and Theo went with within our predicted lineup. So Robert Sanchez started in goal. We then had Trevor Chalobah, Tosin, Badiashile, Gusto, Moises Caicedo, Reece James, Tariq George, Cole Palmer, Dewsbury Hall, and Mahaka in the attack. Now, I'll be honest, I did say, maybe I didn't say it on the podcast, or maybe I did say it on one of the videos, but I did say maybe we might see Gusto at left back tonight. And I'll be honest, it didn't work for us. I think it proves why. And I was watching that game and I was thinking, this is why we let Renato Vega go, because I think Enzo Maresca is keen to maybe see Reece James more in that midfield role, which will free up the right back situation. We will probably see Gusto there as well. But Gusto just didn't look comfortable throughout that game. He went off injured. There's another injury. It looks like a foot injury to Malo Gusto. Trevor Chalobah looked like he was playing more of a right back role. We had Badiashile, who returned from injury. Reece James slotted into midfield. Keenan Dewsbury Hall was given a more advanced role, almost in the number 10. And then he was drifting more to the left side as well of the attack, which I don't think really suited him. Cole Palmer was switching in between left and the 10 as well. Yeah, it was a really tough game. Really tough first half. Tough half of the first half performance. But we were creating chances in the second half that we weren't taking or creating in the first half. And we managed to get the goal straight after half time. Brilliant goal as well. Well worked goal by Kokorea and Nkunku to start the game, the phase of playoff. Kokorea finishes it, finds Reece James. Reece James has one thing and one thing only in mind, and that is to shoot the ball into the back of the net. I'll be honest, I do think Ramaj, the goalkeeper for Copenhagen, has to do better there. There wasn't much pace on the ball from Reece James. It was pretty much, part and parcel of being a goalkeeper, but he wasn't able to be clinical with it. We'll take it. Who wouldn't? But it was really, really a good performance from Reece James. I think the fact that he's been able to do, he's, for me, arguably a man of the match tonight. He was able to get through 90 minutes, which I can't remember the last time he's done that. I mean, when's the last time? Someone find out. Put it in the comments for me. When was the last time Reece James was able to successfully do 90 minutes of football? But he definitely put in a man of the match performance tonight. I think that's one thing we've been lacking. We've been talking about so much about leadership, lack of leadership, and Reece James definitely brought that today. We have to give an honourable shout out to Tosin. I thought played really well in the back line as well, alongside Badiashile. Trevor Chalobah, again, another one. And again, Tariq George. For me, Tariq George sets up the second goal very, very nicely. Now, I think tonight showed us that Tariq George is probably ready to step into, for me anyway, he's ready to step into that senior role, get a bit more game time under his belt, because he's actually proven not only once when we played against in the Premier League in our last game, but he's proven again that he's able to provide assists, and he provided another one tonight for Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez was able to make it count. We go 2-0 up. We're coasting. It looks like the game is all but finished and we have nothing to worry about in that second leg. But this is Chelsea and Robert Sanchez is in goal. And we know what happens when Robert Sanchez is in goal. We normally concede a goal and it's normally a goal that could be avoided. Yeah, it was a silly goal to give away. It was a silly free kick in the first place. But we should be doing better. We should be doing better. How on earth we let that go in? I think it was Marcos Lopez who gets the goal. It's a beautiful, beautiful ball whipped in. But I do feel Levi Colwell has to do better in that situation. Levi Colwell, again, we spoke about him on the podcast that he is, I still think he has got errors in him. He's 22 years of age. So he's going to make a lot of mistakes, but I think that goal is avoidable. I think Levi Colwell can do better. I think Robert Sanchez has to do better in that situation. One thing I will say actually as well is I did think it was quite harsh. The subs that we brought on, I'm just trying to think what order they came on, but there was 3 substitutions at half time. We saw Badiashile, Caicedo and Mweka come off for Christopher Nkunku, Enzo and Levi Colwell. Obviously, the earlier change was to Marco Correa Malagusto, and then Jadon Sancho came on for Cole Palmer on the 72nd minute. But I do want to say that it shouldn't take for those 3 substitutions to come on to wake Chelsea up. The lineup that went out today and started that game was enough for us to be able to challenge, compete, get that game done in the first half. We should easily have been 3 or 4-0 up. But we weren't. We hardly had a shot on target. In fact, did we even have a shot on target in the first half? I don't think we did. We didn't have one shot on target in the first half. It wasn't the nicest the first half, let's be honest. It was a boring first half, but we went on to the second half. We got what we needed to get done. We take a 2-1 advantage into that second leg at Stamford Bridge in a week's time. But you just want us to be able to not have to worry about silly things like now we're 2-1. It would have been so much nicer going into that second leg 2-0. But it's 2-1. And Copenhagen will be up for the game next week. Make no doubt about that. They will be up for the game because even 2-0 down, you got to see there was fight in Copenhagen. They never gave up. They were arguably at times better in that second half than they were in the first half. If I'm Maresca, I would have to say his errors tonight was not starting his strongest squad. Because I don't matter if we're playing Copenhagen or we're playing whoever, at this point in this competition, and I'm going to keep saying this, at this point in the competition, we cannot afford to not be winning this tournament. We cannot afford to not win the Conference League football. You have to put your strongest squad out. And I get where he's coming from. We've got a game, we've got Leicester at the weekend, but these guys have had a break all week. They didn't play in the FA Cup. So Cole Palmer, yes, should be in the squad. Yes, and Nkunku should be in the squad, 100%. There's obviously doubts in there. I wouldn't have started Malo Gusto because clearly you could see early on in that game he wasn't fit. So I think I potentially would have put out Cucurella. Now we've got another injury to add to the list of injuries when we're trying to get the players back from injury. We've now added an extra one to the list of injuries. So I look at Maresca tonight and I think there are things that you walk into those sort of games with a bit of naivety and you can't do that. Because on another night, Copenhagen would have punished us in that first half or even in that second half as well. And they could still do that next week. So you can't really toy around. I know this is just the Conference League and we are favourites to win this tournament, but you can't just expect to steamroll teams. We've done that against Fulham. We did it against Ipswich over the December period. You can't just expect because we are Chelsea that we're going to beat these teams. So those days are long gone. We are not the Chelsea under Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte. This is a new age Chelsea team that has to be convincing. And if you're putting out Tyreek Georges and Mwakas and all these players that, I felt sorry for the kid. He's been put up front. He wasn't getting any service in the first half. He gets hooked at half time. Maybe that was all in Maresca's plans. But if you just start with Nkunku or you just start with Pedro Neto as your striker, and then you can bring on your youth. Bring on some youth. Bring on the likes of Josh Ashiempong, Amagu. Those sort of players you can bring on when you're 2 or 3-0 up. But to not have them on the pitch at the start, I think really hampered us in that first half. And we can't do that next week. There's not a chance in hell we can start that game with the youngsters, so to speak, the younger players in the team coming on and starting that game. Bring them on when you're 3-4 nil up or something like that at Stamford Bridge next week. But if it's 1-0, oh, you can't be bringing those players on, because we have to win this tournament. We have to win the competition outright. Man of the match for me is Reece James. Standout performance. I want to see Reece James a bit more now in the Premier League. Take that performance that we've just seen from Reece James and bring it into Leicester on Sunday, 2 p.m. Then bring it into the Arsenal game, the Tottenham game, the second leg in London Conference League. Bring it to those performances now, because Reece James was like the old Reece James in midfield. And I think that's his new role. I think that's Reece James's new role in midfield. I think Enzo Maresca's trying to find the best solution for Reece James to try and keep him fit for the season, for next season as well. Maybe that's why Renato Vega was allowed to leave. Maybe that's why we allowed him to go, because I think, one of the things that Maresca was keen on doing with Renato Vega, and we got to see tonight, that Reece James was actually the left side of that double pivot alongside Moises Caicedo. And I think that's what he wants from Renato Vega. We never got that. So maybe this is the new role that we're going to see for Reece James in that midfield, sitting in between the defense and the attack, helping out with, that might allow someone like Enzo Fernandez to play higher up the pitch. We've also got Lavia coming back. He's back in training now, so maybe Lavia will come back into the team eventually. But Reece James sitting in that midfield, it didn't really suit him in the last game. I think I can't remember what game it was that he played in the midfield, but this game tonight, he looked very comfortable in the midfield. Maybe because it was Copenhagen, but not to disrespect them. I thought they played well. They battled well in midfield. So let's see if we can get Reece James playing in that role on Sunday against Leicester, because we have to put him in the team. Reece James is, for me, in my eyes, he's still too good enough to be sat on the bench, and he has to be playing football. So if we can get Reece James into that team somehow, maybe you do put him back as a right centre-back. But I think we need to start now. I mean, the Gusto injury might change all this, but I think we need to start thinking about Josh Ashempong. Is he good enough to be a right back at Chelsea first team, regular right back at Chelsea? I think he should be given a chance on Sunday. Maybe put Reece James as the right centre-back to give some of that leadership and protective cover for Achiempong. Maybe go to a back five. We don't know, but we'll see. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think about the game. 2-1. Is it a good performance? Was it a good scoreline to take back to Stamford Bridge? What would you have changed in today's squad as well? And what do you want to see next week in the second leg? Don't forget to subscribe. We are increasing the subscribers. So we've had a lot of new subscribers over the last 24, 48 hours. We appreciate every single one of you. So make sure, if you haven't done so, you're watching this video, hit that subscribe button right about now. And we will be back soon with another video. Until then, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll be back soon.